So as you know, Pope Francis wrote an 85-page document that denounced the excesses of capitalism and frankly unfettered capitalism, and said that it's one thing to talk about the various sins of let me quote a little bit of it. Just as the commandment, thou shalt not kill, sets a clear limit in order to safeguard the value of human life, today we also have to say thou shalt not to an economy of exclusion and inequality. Such an economy kills. Some people continue to defend trickle-down theories, which assume that economic growth, encouraged by a free market, will inevitably succeed in bringing about greater justice and inclusiveness in the world. This opinion, which has never been confirmed by the facts, expresses a crude and naive trust in the goodness of those wielding economic power and in the sacralized workings of the prevailing economic system. Meanwhile, the excluded are still waiting. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And this, of course, made heads explode all across the right-wing spectrum in this country, because they all know that the Pope is only supposed to be out there saying we're going to excommunicate any candidate who's not in favor of denying women a right to choose, or that Catholic dogma is only supposed to be in support of homophobic policies. But yet we have a Pope now prioritizing economic justice. And this, of course, has driven the right wing insane. Well, wait a second. Let me rephrase that. This, of course, has attracted the insanity of the right wing. They were already there. Tea Party activist Jonathan Mosley on WorldNet Daily wrote, in just one verse, we see that God rejects the left-wing Jesus Christ-supported socialism heresy. Mosley writes, when Jesus was asked to support redistribution of wealth, to tell one brother to share the family inheritance with the other, Jesus refused. He goes on to say, one truth shines out from the Bible. Jesus spoke to the individual, never to government or government policy. Jesus was a capitalist, preaching personal responsibility, not a socialist. I don't know what to tell you. What was that thing about the camel and the pin? The consumer is king, Mosley argues. I thought Jesus said God was king, right? Whatever. Consumers won't buy unless the purchase benefits them. To reinforce that central pillar of capitalism, laws against lying and fraud are proper and necessary. In teaching us how we should live, Jesus agrees that a man who traded with investment capital and earned profits is praised and rewarded by his master, a type of God, and given increased authority.
See camel needle again, Ibid.
Jesus Christ is weeping in heaven, hearing Christians espouse a socialist philosophy that has created suffering and poverty around the world. It is impossible to love one's neighbor as yourself without fighting against socialism, meaning government meddling in private lives. And then, I guess, for fear of being outdone, WorldNet Daily, another WorldNet Daily columnist, Alana Johnson writes that she traces Francis's thinking to KGB influence in South America. Yeah. And argues that social justice is not connected to the teachings of Jesus Christ, but actually a Soviet communist-led idea that helped the KGB infiltrate the Catholic Church. And, of course, we know that the KGB is still operating somewhere in a bunker, probably below the Vatican, which is the only way that they were able to finally get their choice in. Ratzinger really bummed them out. And then
Probably Gohmert could explain this.
That's right. What, comrade? We're infiltrating the Vatican? Well, all right, if you say so. So there you have it, folks. The right wing continues to freak out because the Pope turns out not to be a gigantic a-hole. Unbelievable.
Maybe they're confusing Jesus with white Jesus.
Well, that's the problem there. The KGB. Maybe it's how would the KGB say Jesus?
How would they say Jesus?
Yeah, Jesus.
It's like a Kanye West album title.
Oh God.